class, we are going to introduce and do a information essay. We're going to write an information essay to explain how culture shapes a person's identity. We're going to support our answer with evidence from the various passage in A Long Walk to Water. Okay, we're going to brainstorm. So, with a partner or by yourself, write what you think culture is, shapes a person's identity. What do you know about this topic on your own? What we're going to start out with is, I have two definitions here. So, culture. It's a characteristic and knowledge of a particular group of people, including language, religion, food, social habits, etc. Those are like rituals, customs, ceremonies. Here's another one that I found, which was culture is the beliefs, objects, or other characteristics shared by a group of people. Okay, so we know that Salva's culture is African American. He's also from Southern Sudan. He's also Dinka. So we're going to write all that in this. So he is African American. Or no, he's not African American. He's African. Sorry. He is from Southern Sudan. He is Dinka. And he lives in Lone Arik. Okay? That's part of his. Okay? So we're going to look and find evidence from each text to demonstrate an aspect of culture that shapes a person's identity. So we're going to, our question is, what do you know about how a culture shapes a person's identity? Okay, so in Salva's case, we're going to look at pages 2, 3, and 4 for this stuff, and for 20, 105, and 109, and 112, 114, and 115. Okay, so we have evidence in there on page 2, 3, and 4 that the boys went to school, but the girls did not. The girls stayed home and kept house. That also the boys were shooting bows and arrows. Even at age 10, they knew how to do that. That's a cultural thing, okay? On this one, on page 20, the girls were taking younger siblings. The father sprinkled water on Salva's head. Was the Dinka way at blessing someone that was lost and then reappeared. They also killed a cow for mourning a loved one. The next one is evidence. Granddad celebrations was on top of that land. Dinka versus Nuer tribe. They fought. The different scars on their heads. Okay, so on page 2, it has, right here, says, the dry season his family moved from their village. During the rainy season, he could walk to the school, which was only half an hour. So he got to go to school. Each boy reached the age of about 10, and he was sent off to school. The older brothers had went before him last year. It had been Salva's turn. But his two sisters did not get to go to school. The other girls in the village, they stayed home and learned from their mother how to keep house. Okay, that was 2 to 3. That's where I got that information. On page 20, okay, Naya was told to take Akir with her. Okay, Akir, who was only 5, was too small and walked slowly, but she didn't say that. Naya was expected to go get water for her family every day, and she was expected to take her younger siblings with them. Naya's daily routine was getting water 7 months of the year, daily, every single day. So she didn't get a day off. On page 105, you have access to the book online. It says A Long Walk to Water book. Book is capital, all caps. So we need to look at 105. 105, it says, Moeen Doot sprinkled water on his son's head, the Dinka way of blessing someone who was lost and is found again. Okay? The village wanted to kill a cow for him. That's how Salva's people mourn the death of their loved one. That's another cultural thing. But here in America, we don't do that. 109. I don't think I got anything from 109. There's probably something in there. I don't know. Oh. I don't know. For culture. You'll have to just look. The next one said 112. 112 is an old grandfather standing not far from Naya shook his head. This is where we used to gather for our bonfire celebrations. I have been sitting on this ground my whole life, and all the years I never knew I was sitting on top of this good water. Okay? So, another thing, a cultural thing that they do celebrations. 114. Okay, we all knew that the Dinka and the Nuer did not get along, but they didn't look very different physically. You had to look at the scar patterns on people's faces to tell the tribes apart. Dinka scars patterns were different from those of the Nuer. But the crew leader had no scars on his face. And why is that? Because Salva was sent to the Americas. He was in Ethiopia the years that they did all this rite of passage. It was a cultural thing. He went to Ethiopia, so he wasn't around his family. So we knew that the Dinka and the Nuer were enemies and had been for hundreds of years. Okay. Last but not least, at the top of this is he drilled so many wells for his own people. This year he decided to drill one for the Nuer as well. So the Salva was trying to get past all the cultural differences and the fighting and stuff. So what we're going to go to next on here is we're going to go with supporting ideas. So on this, what idea do you get about why their culture shapes an identity? So looking at Naya and Salva, with knowing this, what idea do you come up with? Then on this one, girls taking care of younger siblings, father sprinkled water on for the son's head for a blessing, and killing a cow. How would that shape your identity? Tell me an idea. On this one, they had many celebrations. The Nura and the Dinka tribe fought. Give me an idea of how that would shape your identity. Would it be different if you were Nuer, or would it be different if it was Dinka? You've heard Naya's story, and you've heard Salva's story. Now, Naya was a new heir, and she's a female. And Salva is Dinka, and he's a male. So, but how would the culture, how would their thoughts, their ideas of language, their customs, their rituals, their social habits, all of that go into your identity? Okay? The last one is you're going to elaborate on that. So you're going to have one idea, and then you're going to elaborate that. Once you get that and you can turn it in, I want you to think about your main total idea. What can you write based on your findings with your supporting ideas? Cultural shapes a person's identity. How? And give me 3 main reasons. Okay? Once you get those in, turn it in. And we will discuss the rest later.